Welcome to Chinese History and Mythology.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back, and welcome to another episode of Chinese History and Mythology. Last time, we talked about how, after the Qin army looted the state of Hua was left badly weakened. Not long after the Qin troops withdrew, Hua was swallowed up by the state of Wei. Duke Mu of Zheng received a secret report from Shan Gao. He did not fully trust it at first, so he quietly ordered an investigation. Soon enough, it was confirmed that the Qin generals, Qi Zi and the others were indeed preparing their troops, ready to act from inside the city and cooperate with an outside Qin attack. Zhu Wu stepped in and tested them with careful words. Realizing that their plot had been exposed, Qi Zi and the others fled overnight. Zheng then calmed the remaining Qin soldiers, rewarded Shan Gao for his great service, and for the moment, managed to defuse the crisis. Meanwhile, Duke Xiang of Jin was still in Kuo, observing mourning rites, when he suddenly received news that the Qin general Meng Meng was leading troops eastward. Xian Zhen had already uncovered Qin's intentions and came to court with his strategy. A new storm between Qin and Jin was about to begin. Today, we continue the story. During the mourning period of Duke Xiang of Jin, the marshal Xian Zhen had already learned of Qin's secret plan to strike Jian. He entered the court and asked for permission to fight. He spoke plainly. The Duke of Qin ignored the advice of Jian Shu and Bai Li Shi. He marched 1,000 miles to launch a surprise attack. He thinks Jin is weak because we are in mourning. If we do not strike now, this will become a great disaster in the future. Luan Zhi, however, remembered old ties. The ruler of Qin once helped our former lord. If we attack his army now, would that not betray our late duke? Xian Zhen answered at once. Qin troops crossed our land during our mourning and attacked a state of our own clan. That is disrespectful. In the Battle of Zheng before, they broke faith and left us. Now they try again to seize Zheng. They are clearly testing whether Jin is strong or weak. If we do not strike today, tomorrow there will be trouble. If you let an enemy go for one day, you may suffer for generations. Xiao Shai worried about the proper rites of mourning. Shan Zhen said, "Filial duty is important, but the safety of the state is more important. If none of you will fight, I will go alone." Most of the ministers agreed. Duke Xiang asked, "When will the Qin army return, and which road will they take?" Shan Zhen calculated and said, "If Qin fails to take Zheng, their round trip will be no more than 4 months. In early summer, they must pass Mianxi and return through the Zhou Mountains. The mountains are steep and narrow. Chariots cannot move freely. It is the perfect place for an ambush." The Duke nodded. "Everything depends on you." Jin divided its forces and set up an ambush. 5,000 men hid on each side of the Zhou Mountains. Another force blocked the western pass. Troops waited in the east to pursue once the Qin army was fully inside. Shan Zhen and other generals guarded Duke Xiang 20 miles away, ready to support. In the second month, the Qin army destroyed Hua and began its return, loaded with spoils. By early April, they reached Mianxi. Bai Yi reminded Meng Meng, "The Zhou Mountains are dangerous. My father warned us again and again to be careful." Meng Meng was confident. "We have already crossed 1,000 miles. Once we pass the Zhou Mountains, we are back in Qin territory. What is there to fear?" Shikishu also advised caution. Meng Meng ignored him and even ordered the vanguard general, Bao Manzi, to carry the commander's banner at the front. Bao Manzi was extremely brave. He swung his halberd with great force. At East Jiao, he met the Jin general Lei Ju, blocking the road. They fought. Bao Manzi showed great strength, but Lei Ju deliberately let him pass. Bao Manzi returned and reported, "A small Jin force has retreated. We can advance quickly." Meng Meng was pleased and ordered the army into the mountains. The Jin general, Liang Hong, said quietly to Lei Ju, "Let them all come in. Then we close the gate and beat the dog." The Qin army moved deep into the mountains. The road was steep, with cliffs called Heaven's Ladder, Falling Horse Cliff, and Deadly Rock. Chariots could not pass easily. Soldiers had to dismount and walk. They also carried gold, silk, and captured women from Hua. Their loads were heavy and their spirit was already tired. Suddenly, word came from the rear. "Jin troops are chasing us." Meng Meng said, "They also must struggle on these roads. Why be afraid? When they reached Deadly Rock, they found trees blocking the path and red banners above marked with the word Jin. Ming thought it was a bluff and ordered the banners removed. The moment the banners fell, drums thundered through the valley. Jin troops attacked from all sides. Gu Shigu shouted, "Your vanguard Baoman Zi has already been captured." Baoman Zi had fallen into a hidden pit and was taken alive. Ming saw no way forward and tried to retreat to East Jiao for open ground, but Liang Kong had already blocked the rear. On both mountain slopes, more Jin forces appeared. Xin Qiju and Su Ying raised their banners and called for surrender. The Qin army was trapped like a wild beast. Soldiers tried to climb hills and cross streams, but many were cut down.
Meng, Shitishu, and Bai Yi fought again near Falling Horse Cliff. Jin troops set fire to sulfur and wood. Flames rose high. The road of retreat was gone. Meng sighed. My father's warning was true. This is a place of death. Change clothes with me and escape if you can. If one of you returns to Qin, tell our lord to avenge us. Shikishu and Bai Yi wept. We live and die together. How can we escape alone? Before they finished speaking, after all the hardship to capture them, you let them go because of a woman's words. You release a tiger back to the mountains. You will regret it. The Duke panicked and asked who would pursue them. Yang Chufu volunteered. Ming and the others rushed toward the river, desperate to cross. They found no boats. Just as they lost hope, a fisherman arrived singing. He said he had waited many days by order of Gong Sunzi. He directed them to a large boat. As they boarded, Yang Chufu's chariot reached the shore. Yang pretended he was sent by Duke Xiang to deliver horses, hoping to trick Ming ashore. Ming refused. He bowed from afar and said, "If my lord does not execute us, in 3 years we will come in person to give thanks." The boat moved into the current. Yang returned empty-handed. When Xian Zhen heard the words, "in 3 years," he said this meant revenge. He urged an attack on Qin while its spirit was low. Duke Xiang agreed and prepared to discuss war. In Qin, Duke Mu could not sleep from worry. When he heard the 3 generals had been released, he was overjoyed. Many urged him to execute them to restore discipline. Duke Mu said the fault was his own for ignoring advice. He wore plain clothes, went outside the city to meet them, wept, comforted them, and restored their positions. Bai Lishi, moved by the reunion, retired. Duke Mu appointed Yu and Gong Sunzi in his place. Just as Jin planned to attack Qin, urgent news arrived. The Di ruler Bai Buhu had invaded and passed Ji City. Xian Zhen explained that Duke Wen once received great kindness in Di lands but never repaid it. Now the new Di ruler sought repayment while Jin was in mourning. Duke Xiang ordered Xian Zhen to lead troops. Xian Zhen first asked forgiveness for spitting in court and wished to resign. The Duke said it was anger born of loyalty and insisted he command. Xian Zhen sighed. I thought I might die at Qin's hands. It seems I may die fighting Dai instead. When troops were assigned, Lang Jian volunteered to lead the vanguard. Xian Zhen already disliked him and scolded him in public. He said Lang Jian had gained fame only by killing a captive and now dared to step ahead of senior generals. He replaced him with Hu Zhu. Lang Jian swallowed his anger and left. His friend, Shen Bo, was furious and wanted to gather men to assassinate Xian Zhen. Lang Jian stopped him. If I must die, I will die with honor. A death without justice is not heroic. Let us wait and see what happens next. Xian Zhen led his troops north out of Jian. He appointed Xiang Keju as vanguard. Luan Zhi and Shi Kui commanded the left and right wings. Hu Shigu and Hu Zhu guarded the rear. 400 chariots marched straight toward Ji City. When the 2 armies met, they each set up camp and faced one another. Xian Zhen gathered his generals and explained the plan clearly. Near Ji City, there is a place called Great Valley. The ground in the middle is flat and good for chariot fighting. On both sides, there are thick woods, perfect for hidden troops. Luan Zhi and Shi Kui will hide on the left and right. After Xiang Keju engages Bai Buhu, he will pretend to lose and lure him into the valley. Then the ambush on both sides will charge out and capture the Di ruler. Hu Xiaoju and Hu Zhu will support from behind and prevent the Di troops from rescuing him. After giving these orders,
Xian Zhen moved the main camp back more than 10 miles and waited to close the trap. The next day, battle lines were drawn. The Dai ruler Bai Buhu went into battle himself. After only a few exchanges, Shan Qiju turned and fled. Bai Buhu led more than 100 cavalry in fierce pursuit and rode straight into Great Valley. The hitting troops on both sides rushed out at once. Bai Buhu charged left and right, and most of his riders were captured. Just as he was about to reach the mouth of the valley, Xi Kui shot an arrow that struck his face and passed through to the back of his head. Bai Buhu fell from his horse and died on the spot. Xi Kui recognized him as the Dai ruler, cut off his head, and presented it as proof. In the camp, when Xian Zhen heard the shout that the Dai ruler had been captured, he raised his head and cried out again and again, "The Duke of Jin is blessed! The Duke of Jin is blessed!" He quickly wrote a memorial and placed it on the table. Without informing the other generals, he took a few trusted men and drove his chariot straight into the Dai army lines. Bai Dun, the younger brother of Bai Buhu, did not yet know his brother was dead and was coming to give support. Suddenly, he saw Xian Zhen charging alone and raised his blade to fight. Xian Zhen laid his spear across his shoulder and gave a great shout. His eyes split with fury and blood ran down his face. Bai Dun was forced back and ordered his archers to surround and shoot. Xian Zhen wore heavy armor and rode back and forth through the enemy ranks. He cut down 3 Dai commanders and more than 20 soldiers, yet not one arrow struck him. Seeing that the arrows could not pierce his armor, he sighed. "If they already know my courage, what use is more killing? I will die here." He removed his armor himself and faced the arrows. In a moment, his body was filled with shafts like a porcupine. He died standing upright. Bai Dun wanted to cut off his head, but seeing his eyes still glaring, he felt afraid. Someone told him, "This is Xian Zhen, the marshal of Jin." Bai Dun led his men to bow before the body and sighed. "He is truly a godlike man," he prayed. "If you wish to go with me to Dai land and be honored, fall down." The body did not fall. He changed his words. "If you wish to return to Jin, we will send you back." As soon as he finished, the body fell onto the chariot. Bai Dun then realized and said, "Jin has heaven's help. My brother would not listen and has met disaster." On the Jin side, Xi Kui returned to the main camp with Bai Buhu's head but could not find Xian Zhen. The guard said the marshal only ordered them to guard the gates tightly and then drove away. Shan Qiju became suspicious and found the memorial on the table. After reading it, he burst into tears. In the memorial, Xian Zhen explained everything. He had once spat at Duke Xiang and shown disrespect, yet the Duke did not punish him but instead promoted him. If he were rewarded, it would mean disrespect gained merit. If he were not rewarded, it would mean merit was ignored. With reward and punishment confused, the state could not be governed. So he had chosen to enter the enemy lines and use the Dai army's hand to end his own life and atone. He also wrote that his son Shan Qiju was capable of succeeding him. Shan Qiju cried out, "My father went to seek death." He wanted to charge into the enemy camp to find him, but Xi Kui, Luan Dun, Hu Shuju, and Hu Shigo restrained him. Song Bai then sent a messenger asking to exchange bodies. Xian Qiju confirmed his father's death and wept again. They agreed to exchange the next day before the armies. Fearing treachery, Xian Qiju still ordered Xi Kui and Luan Dun to set ambushes on both wings, and Hu Jiuju and Hu Shigu to guard the center in case of renewed battle. The next day, Bai Dun removed the arrows from Xian Zhen's body, washed it with fragrant water, wrapped it in fine robes, and sent it back in a chariot as if he were alive. The Jin side returned only Bai Buhu's head. Bai Dun grew angry. "You insult us. Why not return the whole body?" The Jin side answered firmly, "If you want the body, go search for it yourself among the corpses in Great Valley." Bai Dun, furious, swung his axe and attacked. The Jin army formed their shielded chariots like a wall. The Dai troops charged several times but could not break through. Suddenly drums thundered in the Jin camp. The gates opened and Hu Shigu rushed out with his halberd. Bai Dun met him in combat. After only a few exchanges, ambush troops arrived from both sides, Xi Kui from the left and Luan Dun from the right.
Seeing the situation was hopeless, Bai Dun turned and fled. The Jin army pursued and killed many Dai soldiers. He Shugu focused on Bai Dun and chased him closely. Bai Dun feared that fleeing straight back would scatter his own men, so he veered aside. Looking back, he recognized his pursuer and shouted, "Are you Jia Ji?" He Shugu answered, "Yes." Bai Dun spoke of old ties. "Your father and you lived in our land for 12 years. We treated you well. If you spare me today, will we not meet again? I am Bai Dun, brother of Bai Bu Hu." Hearing this, Hu Shigu softened. "I let you go. Withdraw quickly and do not stay." He then returned to camp. That night, Bai Dun withdrew to Dai land and declared himself ruler. The Jin army returned in triumph. Xian Zhen's memorial was presented to Duke Xiang. The duke mourned deeply and personally dressed the body. Suddenly, Xian Zhen's eyes opened. The duke stroked the body and said, "You died for the state. I will never forget your loyalty." On the spot, he appointed Xian Qiju as marshal to succeed his father. Only then did Xian Zhen's eyes close. Later, the people of Jin built a temple at Ji City to honor him. Duke Xiang rewarded merit clearly. Shi Kui had killed Bai Bu Hu and received the fief of Ji. The duke said, "You have offset your father's fault." Su Chen, who had once recommended Shi Kui, was also rewarded. Seeing clear rewards and punishments, the generals were satisfied. Soon, war arose again. Su Wenkai turned to Chu after Duke Wen of Jin died. Duke Xiang sent Yang Chufu to attack Su and move against Kai. The king of Chu sent Dou Bo and Chiang Daxing to rescue. The two armies faced each other across the Zi River for 2 months. Jin supplies were running low. Yang Chufu sent a message to Dou Bo. "If you wish to fight, both sides retreat 30 li and set battle lines. If not, do not drag this out." Dou Bo was angered and wanted to cross the river. Chiang Daxing stopped him. "The Jin cannot be trusted. If we retreat 30 li, they may strike while we cross. Better we retreat first and let them cross." Dou Bo agreed and withdrew 30 li. Yang Chufu then spread word in his own camp. "The Chu generals are afraid and dare not cross. They have retreated." He said the year was ending and there was no need to cross, and withdrew back to Jin. Dou Bo waited 2 days before realizing the Jin army had gone, and he too returned to Chu. Inside Chu, trouble soon followed. King Cheng had made his eldest son Shang Chen crown prince. Dou Bo had once warned that Chu custom favored younger sons, and that Shang Chen's fierce appearance meant trouble. King Cheng did not listen. Later, when Dou Bo returned from rescuing Kai without battle, Shang Chen accused him of taking bribes from Yang Chufu. The king believed him and ordered Dou Bo to commit suicide. Chiang Daxing explained the true reason for retreat. The king regretted his action and began to suspect the crown prince. King Cheng favored his younger son Zi and planned to replace Shang Chen. Rumors spread. Shang Chen asked his teacher Pan Cheng for advice. Pan Cheng told him to test Zhang Mi. Shang Chen held a banquet and deliberately treated Zhang Mi rudely. Zhang Mi grew angry and shouted, "You disrespectful son! No wonder the king wants to kill you and raise Zi instead." Shang Chen then believed the rumor and asked what to do. Pan Cheng pressed him. "Can you serve Zi as a minister? If not, you must flee." Shang Chen refused both. Pan Cheng lowered his voice. "Then only a great act remains." Shang Chen gritted his teeth and agreed. At midnight, they launched a palace coup and surrounded the palace. Pan Cheng entered with sword drawn and said directly, "You have ruled 47 years. It is time to step down and give the state to the crown prince." King Cheng begged for his life and asked only to wait until bear paw was cooked, hoping to delay. Pan Cheng shouted, "Bear paw takes long to cook. Do you seek outside help? End it yourself." King Cheng remembered Dou Bo's loyal words and cried out, "Ah, Dou Bo, I did not listen to you, and now I am here." He then hanged himself with his sash. Zhang Mi, hearing this, also hanged herself. It was the winter, 10th month, on the day Ding Wei, in the 26th year of King Xiang of Zhou. Shang Chen murdered his father and seized the throne. He made himself king of Chu and took the title King Mu of Chu.
He sent funeral notices to the other lords, saying King Cheng had died suddenly of a violent illness. At the same time, he rewarded his supporters heavily. He raised Pan Chong to the post of Grand Tutor, put him in charge of both civil and military affairs, and even gave Pan Chong the palace where he himself had lived when he was crown prince. Old ministers like the chief minister Dou Ban knew the truth, but no one dared to speak. Once the palace seemed steady, Dou Yishen used the excuse of coming to mourn to rush back to Ying. He pulled the grand officer Zhang Gui aside and secretly plotted to remove King Mu. The plot leaked. King Mu immediately ordered the marshal, Dou Yuzhao, to seize Dou Yishen and Zhang Gui and cut off their heads in public. At that point, Fan Yu's old line, King Cheng, Ziyu, and Zishi will not die a natural death, had fully come true. Dou Yuzhao still wanted to climb higher. He turned around and stirred suspicion in King Mu's mind. He told the king that Duban often sighed, saying, "Father and son have served the state for 2 generations and received great favor from the former king, yet we still failed to fulfill the former king's will." Dou Yuzhao claimed this meant Duban wanted to put Prince Ziz on the throne. King Mu grew suspicious at once and forced Douban to go kill Prince Zi. Douban refused, saying he could not. King Mu flew into rage and smashed Douban to death on the spot with a bronze hammer. Prince Zi tried to flee to Jin, but Dou Yuzhao chased him down and killed him outside the city. King Mu then appointed Chang Daxing as chief minister. Before long, Chang Daxing also died. Dou Yujiao finally took the post of chief minister, and Wei Jia became marshal. Later, King Mu remembered Ziwen's old achievements and promoted Dao Qihuang to the post of admonisher to help hold the government together. In Jin, when they heard that King Chang of Chu had died, Duke Xiang of Jin asked Zhao Dun, "Is heaven starting to hate Chu?" Zhao Dun answered plainly, "King Chang was harsh, but he could still be taught with ritual and proper conduct. Shang Chen does not even love his own father, so how could he love anyone else? I fear the disasters among the lords are only beginning." Later, King Mu of Chu did send troops in every direction. He destroyed Jiang first, then swallowed the states of Liu and Liao, and then stirred trouble in Chen and Zheng. The Central Plains did not rest, just as Zhao Dun had said. Time moved to the spring of the 27th year of King Xiang of Zhou in the 2nd month. The Qin general Meng Meng could not swallow the old shame of the defeat at Xiao Mountain. He personally asked to lead an attack on Jin. Duke Mu of Qin agreed, and Meng Meng marched with Shiqi and Bai Yi, commanding 400 chariots. Duke Xiang of Jin had been guarding against this. When he heard the report, he actually laughed. "The one who came to teach us a lesson is here." He quickly sent Xiang Qiju as commander, with Xiao Kui as deputy, and led troops to the border to meet Qin. Lang Chen also asked to join the army as a private volunteer. Xiang Qiju agreed. Xian Qiju did not wait for Qin to push deep. He turned toward Pangya and struck first. Before the fight, Lang Chen stepped forward and said, "The former marshal once said I was not brave enough and removed me from service. Today I do not seek rank or reward. I only want to wash away that old shame." After saying that, he led Shambo and more than 100 men straight into the Qin ranks. He smashed through them and threw the Qin army into chaos. Though Shambo was killed by Bai Yi, Xiang Qiju saw the moment and ordered a full attack. Meng Ming and the others could not hold. They were badly defeated and fled. Lang Chen was pulled back, but he was already covered in wounds and coughing blood. After one day, he died. When Xian Qiju reported to Duke Xiang, he said, "This victory came from Lang Chen. It did not come from me." Duke Xiang buried Lang Chen with the rights of a high grand officer and ordered all officials to attend the funeral, using it to encourage talent. Meng Ming retreated to Qin and thought he would surely be executed. But Duke Mu of Qin said the fault was his own for not listening to advice. He still went out to the suburbs to receive them, comforted them, and continued to trust them. Meng Ming felt deep shame. He began using his own family wealth to support the families of the dead, trained the army every day, and urged the troops with loyalty and duty, waiting for another chance. That winter, Jin struck back. Duke Xiang ordered Xiang Qiju to join forces with armies from Song, Chen, and Zheng to attack Qin. They seized Jiang Yi and Peng Ya, then withdrew. Duke Xiang even joked that it was paying back the lesson. This matched Gui Yan's old saying, 1 strike, 3 wounds, because after 3 clashes, Qin had suffered each time. But Duke Mu of Qin trusted Meng Ming even more. He said Meng Ming was not afraid, only waiting for the right moment. In the 5th month of the next year, Meng Ming's training was extremely sharp. He asked Duke Mu to personally oversee the campaign and declared, "If I cannot wash away this shame, I will not return alive." Duke Mu also said, "If I fail again, I will have no face to return either." So they mobilized 500 chariots and crossed the river in force. Meng Ming then ordered all the boats used for crossing to be burned. Duke Mu asked what he meant. Meng Ming replied, "Victory and defeat depend on morale. After my past defeats, morale was drained. Burning the boats tells the whole army there is no retreat. Only a fight to the death can lift their spirit." Duke Mu praised him and said, "Good." Qin captured Wangguan city. The alarm reached Jin. Duke Xiang called his ministers. Zhao Kui and Shang Qiju both argued that Qin's anger was at its peak, and the Qin ruler was leading in person. Their momentum was too fierce. It was better to hold firm and not fight. Let them show off a little, and that could calm the conflict. Duke Xiang then ordered the borders to defend only and not engage. Yu told Duke Mu, "Jin is afraid. Use this power to recover the bones of our dead at Shao Mountain and wash away the old shame." Duke Mu agreed. The Qin army marched to eastern Zhou. Jin truly did not dare to block them. At places like Fallen Horse Cliff, Doom Rock, and Lost Soul Ravine, the Qin troops gathered the old remains, wrapped them in grass bundles, and buried them in quiet, low valleys. They slaughtered cattle and horses and held sacrifices for the dead. Duke Mu wore white and poured wine onto the ground, crying loudly. Meng Ming and the other generals lay on the ground in grief, and the whole army wept. The people of Jiang Yi and Peng Ya heard that Qin had gained the upper hand. They rose up, drove out the Jin garrisons, and returned to Qin. Qin then marched home in triumph. Duke Mo made Meng Ming assistant chief minister to govern with the 2 chief ministers. Shi Qi and Bai Yi were also rewarded. Duke Mo also renamed Pujing Pass as Great Celebration Pass to mark the achievement. Qin's power shook the West. The Western Rong ruler Qi Ban had once thought Qin was weak and wanted to stir rebellion. But after hearing of this great Qin success, and after receiving Qin's proclamation, he panicked. He led more than 20 Western kings to offer land and submit, honoring Duke Mu as overlord of the Western Rong. The historian sighed. "It is easy to find an army of 1,000. It is hard to find one great general." Duke Mu could achieve this because he trusted Meng Ming from start to finish. Qin's fame reached the Zhou court. King Xiang of Zhou asked Yin Wugong whether he should enfiaft Duke Mu of Qin the way he had once enfiaft Duke Wen of Jin. Yin Wugong advised against haste. He said Qin was strong, but it had not toiled for the royal house as Jin had. Qin and Jin also carried old grudges, and to enfiaft Qin now would offend Jin. It would be better to send an envoy with rewards and congratulations, so Qin would feel gratitude and Jin would have no complaint. King Xiang agreed. After Duke Mu became overlord of the Western Rong, King Xiang sent Yin Wugong to present a golden drum as congratulations. Duke Mu said he was old and it was not easy to come to court, and he sent Gongsun Zi to Zhou to offer thanks. That year, Yu died of illness. Duke Mu mourned deeply and promoted Meng Ming to the post of Right Chief. After Gongsun Zi returned from Zhou and saw that Duke Mu leaned even more on Meng Ming, he claimed he was old and withdrew from government. Duke Mu had a young daughter. When she was born, someone offered a raw stone, and craftsmen carved it into a beautiful green jade. When the girl turned 1, the palace laid out many objects. She grabbed only that jade and would not let go, so she was named Nongyu. As she grew, her beauty was unmatched and she was extremely clever. She was skilled at playing the sheng. She could create her own melodies without any musician setting the score. Duke Mu ordered craftsmen to carve that green jade into a sheng. When she played it, the sound was like a phoenix calling. Duke Mu loved this daughter deeply. He built layered towers for her to live in, called the Phoenix Tower, and a high platform in front called the Phoenix Terrace. When Nang Yu turned 15, Duke Mu wanted to choose a husband for her. Nang Yu swore, "He must be someone who is skilled at the shang, someone who can answer my music and play in harmony with me. No one else is the man I want." Duke Mu sent people everywhere but could not find such a person. One night, Nang Yu lifted the curtain and looked out. The sky was empty and clear, and the moon was bright like a mirror. She told her attendants to light a stick of incense. She took her jade sheng, leaned by the window, and began to play. The sound was pure and rose into the sky. A gentle breeze came, and she suddenly felt as if someone were playing along with her. The sound seemed near and far. Nang Yu was startled and stopped. The other sounds stopped as well, yet the lingering notes still floated. Facing the wind, Nang Yu felt dazed, as if she had lost something. She stayed awake until midnight. The moon sank to the west, the incense burned out, and she put the jade sheng by her bed and fell asleep with effort. In her dream, the heavenly gate opened in the southwest. 5-colored light shone like daytime. A handsome man wearing a feathered crown and a crane cloak rode a colored phoenix down from heaven. He stood on the Phoenix Terrace and said to Nang Yu, "I am the lord of Mount Taihawa. The high god has ordered me to marry you. We will meet on the mid-autumn day and answer the bond from our past." He then took a red jade flute from his waist, leaned on the rail, and began to play. The colored phoenix beneath him spread its wings, calling and dancing. The phoenix sound and the flute sound matched perfectly, and the melody filled her ears. Nang Yu asked in a daze, "What tune is this?" He answered, "This is the first movement of the Mount Hawa song." Nang Yu asked, "Can I learn it?" He replied, "If we are husband and wife, what is there I cannot teach you?" Then he walked over and took her hand. Nang Yu woke in shock. The dream was still vivid in every detail. At dawn, she told Duke Mu about the dream. Duke Mu ordered Meng Ming to go to Mount Taihua and search, following the man's appearance. Someone pointed to a place on the mountain and told Meng Ming, "There is a star rock up there. A strange man came here on the 15th day of the 7th month and built a thatched hut to live in. He comes down each day to buy wine and drinks alone. At night he always plays a flute. The sound echoes everywhere, and whoever hears it forgets to sleep. No one knows where he came from." Meng Ming climbed Mount Taihua and reached below Star Rock. He truly saw a man there, wearing a crane cloak and a feathered cap, with a jade-like face and red lips, carrying himself with an otherworldly air. Meng Ming knew this must be the man. He stepped forward, saluted, and asked his name. The man answered, "My surname is Zhou. My name is Shi. Who are you, and why have you come?" Meng Ming said, "I am Bai Li Shi, right chief of this state. Our ruler is choosing a husband for his beloved daughter. She is skilled with the sheng and insists on a man who can answer her music. We heard you are expert in music. Our ruler wishes to meet you and sent me to welcome you," Xiaoxi said. "I know a little music, but I have no other skill. I dare not insult your ruler's command." Meng Ming said, "Come and see our ruler, and everything will be clear." So he brought Xiaoxi by carriage to Qin. Meng Ming told Duke Mu what had happened, then led Xiaoxi to pay his respects. Duke Mu sat on the Phoenix Terrace. After Xiaoxi bowed, he said, "I am a rough man from the mountains. I do not know court rules. Please instruct me." Duke Mu saw that Xiaoxi looked free and proper, with a feeling of leaving the dusty world behind, and he already liked him. He had him sit beside him and asked, "I hear you play the flute very well. Can you play the sheng?" Xiaoxi answered, "I can only play the flute." "I cannot play the sheng," Duke Mu said. "I meant to find a sheng partner. The flute and sheng are not the same. You cannot answer my daughter's music." He glanced at Meng Ming as a signal to lead the man away, but Nang Yu sent a message from behind the curtain. The sheng and flute belong to the same family of instruments. If he can play the flute, why not let him try? Why send him away with such skill? Duke Mu felt she was right and told Xiaoxi to play. Xiaoxi took out a red jade flute, evenly colored and shining, truly a rare treasure. When he played the first tune, a gentle wind came. On the second tune, colored clouds gathered. On the third tune, white cranes appeared and danced in the sky, and peacocks landed in the woods. Birds called together and only scattered after a long while. Duke Mu was overjoyed. Behind the curtain, Nong Yu watched. Seeing his skill, she happily said, "This is my husband." Duke Mu then asked, "Do you know what the sheng and flute are made of, and when they began?" Zhou Shi answered, "The sheng means life. It was made by Nu Wa, taking the meaning of growth, and its pitch matches the proper mode. The flute takes the meaning of clearing, and its pitch matches its proper mode as well," Duke Mu said. "Explain in detail." Zhou Shi replied, "What I pursue is the flute, so let me speak of the flute. In ancient times, Fuxi tied bamboo to make flute pipes. Their lengths were uneven like phoenix wings. Their sound was smooth and beautiful, like a phoenix call. The larger kind had many pipes, the smaller kind had fewer. Later, people made a single pipe to blow vertically, calling the long one a flute and the short one a tube. The flute of today is not the flute of ancient times." Duke Mu asked, "How did your flute gather rare birds?" Zhou Shi answered, "Though the instrument became simpler, its sound did not change. The player imitates the phoenix call. The phoenix is king of birds, so when they hear that call, birds fly in to answer. Long ago, when Shang performed the music of Xiao and Shao, phoenixes came in response. If the phoenix can answer, why not other birds?" Zhao Shi answered smoothly with a strong voice. Duke Mu was even more pleased and said, "I have a lovely daughter, Nong Yu. She understands music and refuses a blind marriage. She is willing to marry you." Zhao Shi put away his smile and bowed again and again. "I am a poor wild man from a remote place. How could I dare accept a noble marriage?" Duke Mu said. "My daughter swore she would marry someone who plays the shun, but your flute reaches heaven and earth and is better than the shun." Also, she had a dream sign. "Today is the mid-autumn night, the very match of fate. You cannot refuse." Xiao Shi bowed and thanked him. Duke Mu ordered the grand astrologer to choose an auspicious time. The astrologer reported that the mid-autumn night was best, with the moon full in the sky and husband and wife full under the moon. Duke Mu at once ordered bathing water, had Xiao Shi bathe, and gave him new clothes and cap. He sent him to the Phoenix Tower to marry Nong Yu. Their marriage was harmonious. The next morning, Duke Mu appointed Zhao Shi as a central grand officer. Though he held rank, he never took part in government. He stayed in the Phoenix Tower every day. He did not eat cooked food and sometimes drank wine. Nong Yu learned his breathing methods and gradually could live without eating grain. Zhao Shi taught her to play the flute, teaching the tune called Summon the Phoenix. About half a year later, one night the couple played flute together under the moon. A purple phoenix gathered on the left side of the phoenix terrace, and a red dragon coiled on the right. Xiao Shi said, "I was originally an immortal from heaven. The high god saw that human records had been lost and confused and ordered me to set them in order. So I was born in the Zhao clan in the time of King Zhang of Zhou and was called Zhao Sanlang. When historians failed, I repaired and filled the historical records and restored what was missing. Because of my work, people called me Zhao Shi. Now more than 100 years have passed. The High God has appointed me Lord of Mount Hawa. You and I have an old bond, so I answered your sheng with my flute. But we cannot stay long among humans. Now the dragon and phoenix have come to welcome us. We can go." Nong Yu wanted to say farewell to her father. Xiao Shi refused. "If we are immortals, we must be free and detached. How can we cling to family affection?" Then Zhao Shi rode the red dragon, Nong Yu rode the purple phoenix, and they flew from the phoenix terrace into the sky. That night, someone heard phoenix calls on Mount Taihua. Early the next morning, palace attendants reported it to Duke Mu. Duke Mu was stunned and sighed slowly. "Immortals are real. If a dragon and phoenix came to welcome me now, I would throw away the realm as easily as I would throw away a worn shoe." He then ordered people to search Mount Taihua for traces, but they found nothing. So a shrine was built at Star Rock, with wine and offerings each year. Today it is called the Shrine of Xiao and the Maiden, and sometimes people still hear phoenix calls there. After Nong Yu and Zhao Shi flew away, Duke Mu grew less and less interested in talking about war. His whole mind turned toward quiet, distant, mystical things. He simply handed state affairs to Meng Ming and spent his days on the Phoenix Terrace and in the Phoenix Tower, working on self-cultivation. Before long, Gong Songzi died. Meng Ming then recommended 3 brothers of the Ziche clan, Yanxi, Zhang Hang, and Zhen Hu. All 3 had strong moral character, and the people openly called them the 3 good men. Duke Mu invited them to serve as grand officers and rewarded them lavishly. 3 more years passed. On the 15th day of the 2nd month in the 31st year of King Xiang of Zhou, Duke Mu sat on the Phoenix Terrace watching the moon. The longer he looked, the more he missed Nongyu, wondering where she had gone and whether they would ever meet again. As he kept thinking, he fell asleep. In his dream, Zhaoxi and Nongyu came to receive him, leading a phoenix, and they took him to visit the Moon Palace. The place was so cold it pierced the bones. Duke Mu woke up and soon fell ill with a severe chill. Within a few days he died, and people said he had become an immortal. Duke Mu had ruled for 39 years and died at 69. His crown prince succeeded him and became Duke Xiang of Jin. Duke Mu was buried at Yang. Following an old Western Rome custom, they used living people for burial sacrifice. In total, 177 people were buried with him, including the 3 good men. The people were heartbroken and composed the poem Yellow Birds, later included in the Book of Songs. Later generations often said it was not wise for Duke Mu to sacrifice worthy men just for his own afterlife. Now the scene shifted to Jian. In the 6th year of Duke Xiang's reign, he named his son Yi Gao as heir and sent his clan cousin Prince Li to serve in Chen. But that year, a group of senior ministers died one after another, including Zhao Cui, Luan Zhi, Shang Qiju, and Su Chen, leaving many high posts empty. The next year, during a military review, Jin restored the old structure of the upper, middle, and lower armies. At first, Duke Xiang wanted Shi Gu and Liang Yi to command the middle army, and Ji Zhengfu and Xiang Du to command the upper army. Xian Qi stepped forward to warn him. Hu Shi Gu and Zhao Den have done great service for Jin. You cannot leave them unused. Shi Gu is only Minister of Works, and Liang Yi has no battle record. If you raise them too high at once, people will not accept it. Duke Xiang listened and changed the appointments. Hu Shigu became commander of the middle army, with Zhao Den as his deputy. Zhi Jianfu became commander of the upper army, with Sun Linfu as his deputy. Xian Mei became commander of the lower army, with Xian Du as his deputy. As soon as Hu Shigu climbed the command platform, he issued orders as if no one could question him. The lower army marshal Yu Pian hurried to advise him. Victory in war depends on humility. The commander should ask for counsel and keep a modest mind. If you become stubborn and self-willed, you will repeat Ziyu's failure. Hu Shigu exploded on the spot. I have just begun issuing orders, and you dare to speak out alone and disrupt the troops. He ordered attendants to whip Yu Pian 100 times. Everyone in the ranks felt resentment. At the same time, Shigu and Liang Yi hated Xiang Ke for blocking their rise. Xiang Du also failed to gain the post he wanted and hated Xiang Ke as well. The Grand Tutor Yang Chufu was away on a mission then, so he was not involved. When Yang Chufu returned and heard that Hu Shiwu was now commander, he privately told Duke Xiang very directly, Shiwu is stubborn, loves to compete and dominate, and lacks popular support. He is not fit to be a great commander. I know Zhao Den very well. He can carry responsibility. If you are choosing the top commander, no one is better than Zhao Dong. Duke Xiang accepted this. He ordered Yang Chufu to shift the troops to assemble at Dongming. Hu Shigu still knew nothing and kept managing the middle army with great excitement. Duke Xiang called him by his style name to his face. Jiaji, I used to have Zhao Den assist you. Today I will have you assist Zhao Den. Hu Shigu dared not argue. He could only lower his head and withdraw. Zhao Den became the main commander of the middle army, and Hu Shigu became his deputy. After Zhao Den took control, he revised laws and regulations, and the people were willing to obey. Someone asked Yang Chufu, "You never hide your words. You are loyal, but do you not fear offending others?" Yang Chufu answered even more bluntly, If it benefits the state, how could I dare to avoid private resentment? But Hu Shigao held his anger in his chest. He went alone to Duke Xiang and asked, "Is it that my father Hu Yan's service was less than Zhao Kri's, or did I do something wrong?" Duke Xiang answered plainly, "No other reason. Yang Chufu told me you lack popular support and cannot serve as chief commander, so I changed the appointment." Hu Shigu fell silent and withdrew. That autumn, in the 8th month, Duke Xiang became gravely ill. He summoned Yang Chufu, Shao Dun, and the great officers to his bedside and entrusted them with the future. "The heir Yigao is still young. You must support him with all your strength and do not lose the leadership we hold among the lords." The ministers knelt and accepted. After Duke Xiang died, everyone prepared to place Yigao on the throne, but Zhao Dan stopped them. "The state faces strong enemies. We cannot enthrone a child ruler. Prince Yang, the son of Duke Qi, is serving in Qin. He is kind and mature. We should bring him back to inherit the throne." No one objected. Hu Shige immediately pushed a different plan. Better to enthrone Prince Le. His mother was favored by our ruler. Prince Le is serving in Chen, and Chen has long been close to Jin. Qin is our enemy. If we bring Le back, he can arrive quickly. Zhao Dan rejected it. Chen is small and distant. Qin is large and near. Going to Chen to fetch Prince Le does not help peace. Going to Qin to fetch Prince Yang can untie old hatred and form new friendship. For that, only Prince Yang will do. Only then did the debate settle, so they sent Xian Mi as chief envoy and Xi Hui as deputy to Qin to report the death and escort Prince Yang back. Xun Fu rushed in to stop Xian Mi. "The lady and the heir are still here, yet you go to another state to bring someone back as ruler. Before you succeed, another change may happen. Why not claim illness and refuse the mission?" Xian Mi did not take it seriously. Power is in Zhao Dun's hands. What change could happen? He went anyway. Sun Linfu watched them leave and only sighed. He may go, but he may not return. He Shigu saw that Zhao Dun would not follow his route and became furious. So if there is a Zhao, there is no Hu left. In secret, he also sent men to Chen to summon Prince Le, planning to fight Zhao Dun over the throne. Zhao Dan heard of it early and at once sent Gongsam Chuzhou with armed retainers to lie in ambush, ready to kill Prince Lei on the road. Hu Shiga grew even angrier and turned his blade toward Yang Chufu. Zhao Dan has power only because of Yang Chufu. Chufu's clan is weak, with no backing. He lives outside the capital and is in charge of foreign mourning affairs. Killing him is easy. He plotted with his younger brother, Hu Juju. Hu Juju said, "I can do it." That night, they disguised themselves as bandits and climbed the wall into Yang Chufu's home. Yang Chufu was reading by candlelight. Hu Juju rushed forward and killed him with a sword, cut off his head, and left. One of Yang's attendants recognized Hu Juju and ran to report it to Zhao Dun. Zhao Dun pretended not to believe it and shouted, "Yang, the Grand Tutor, was killed by bandits. How can you accuse others?" He had the body collected and buried. This was in mid-9th month. In the winter 10th month, Duke Xiang was buried at Kuowu. After the funeral, Zhao Dun spoke openly in the ancestral temple. "Our former ruler led the lords by clear rewards and punishments. Now, while the ruler's coffin is being buried, Hu Juju dares to murder the Grand Tutor on his own. Which great officer would not fear for his life? This cannot go unpunished." He seized Hu Juju, had the judicial officer list his crimes, and executed him in the marketplace. He then searched Hu's house, found Yang Chufu's head, stitched it back onto the body's neck, and buried him properly. Hu Shigo feared his own plot had already been exposed, so he fled at night by small cart to the Di estate, seeking refuge with its ruler, Bei Tun. At that time, the Di estate had a giant named Cao Ru, known as Long Di. He was said to be extremely strong, with a body like metal. Bai Tun made him a general and sent him to invade Lu. Duke Wen of Lu ordered Shu Sun de Chen to resist. It was winter, with cold fog covering the sky. The officer Fu Zhongsheng knew snow was coming and offered a plan. "Long day is too fierce. We cannot fight head-on. We must win by strategy." They dug many deep pits on the main route, covered them with grass mats, and sprinkled soil over the top. That night, heavy snow fell and smoothed the ground so no one could see the traps. Fu Zhongsheng led a force to raid Qiaoru's camp. Qiaoru rushed out to fight, and Zhongsheng pretended to lose and flee. Qiaoru chased hard. Zhongsheng followed the secret marks and ran along the edges of the pits. Qiaoru chased without stopping and fell into a deep pit. The Lu ambushers surged out and scattered the DI troops. Zhongsheng drove his spear into Qiaoru's throat and killed him. They loaded the huge corpse onto a cart. Whoever saw it was shocked. At that time, the Qian's wife gave birth to a son, so he named the child Shu Sen Qiaoru to commemorate the victory. After that, Lu joined with Qi and Wei to attack the Dai. Bai Tun fled and died, and the Dai state was destroyed. Hu Shigu then went to the Red Dai state of Lu, relying on the Grand Officer Fang Shu. Zhao Dan said, Jia Ji served with my father and followed the former ruler in exile. His merit is not small. When I executed Hu Zhu, it was to calm Jia Ji. He fled because he feared being held responsible. How can I bear to leave him alone in Doi land? So he ordered Yu Pian to escort Hu Shigu's wife and children to Lu. Yu Pian gathered his retainers and prepared to depart. Yu Pian brought his household guards and prepared to escort Hu Shigu's wife and children to the state of Lu. But the guards were unwilling. They said, back at the military review, our master advised him with good intentions, and he repaid that with humiliation. We cannot leave that grudge unpaid. Now the commander orders us to escort his family. This is our chance. Why not end it with one stroke and clear the hate in our hearts? Yu Pian shook his head again and again. Absolutely not. The commander trusts me, so he gave me this task. He wants the family reunited. If I take advantage of the situation and kill them, that is neither humane nor righteous, and it is not wise. When the commander holds me responsible later, what will I do? He not only refused to harm them, he also registered Hu Shigu's property item by item, escorted them out of the border with his own hands, and left nothing behind. When Hu Shigu heard what Yu Pian had done, he sighed. To think I had someone like this at my side, and I never knew it. If I ran away, I brought it on myself. From that day on, Zhao Dan respected Yu Pian even more and began planning to promote him. Meanwhile, Shan Mi and Xie Hui had already reached Qin to escort Prince Yong back to Jin to take the throne. Duke Xiang of Jin was delighted and said, Our Qin state has twice given shelter to Jin rulers in exile. Now we also establish Prince Yong. This shows that Jin's rulers have generation after generation come from Qin. So he sent Bai Yibing with 400 chariots to escort Prince Yong back to Jin. But inside Jin, the situation changed. Duke Xiang's widow, Mu Ying, held the crown prince Yi Gao in her arms every morning and wept in the court, saying to the ministers, Why would you abandon the legitimate son of our late ruler? After court dismissed, she went to Zhao Dun's residence and kowtowed. The late ruler entrusted his child to you on his deathbed and told you to support my son. If you enthrone someone else, where do you place my son? If you refuse to enthrone him, then my son and I will die. When the common people heard this, they pitied her and began to blame Zhao Dan. Zhao Dan was trapped on both sides, so he consulted Shi Kui. Shi Kui said, If you abandon the young heir and enthrone an older man, trouble will surely come later when the child grows. You should quickly send someone to Qin and tell them to stop at once. But Zhao Dan said, We must first enthrone a ruler, and only then can we speak of proper legitimacy. So he gathered the ministers and formally enthroned Yi Gao. This became Duke Ling of Jin, and he was only 7 years old. The congratulations had barely ended when an urgent border report arrived. Qin's main force escorting Prince Yong has reached the Yellow River. The ministers panicked. We have broken faith with Qin. How do we explain this? Zhao Dan stayed calm. If we accept Prince Yong, then the Qin troops are guests. If we do not accept him, then Qin is an enemy state. Sending an apology only gives them more to say. Better to send troops to block them. He reorganized the 3 armies, personally led the middle army out, and deployed at Qinyin. The Qin army had already crossed the river and camped at Linghe. They still thought Jin troops were coming to welcome Prince Yong, so they were not on guard at all. Xian Mi returned to the Jin camp first. Zhao Dong told him the heir had already been enthroned. Xian Mi glared in fury. Whose idea was it for me to go and escort the prince? And now you enthrone the child to oppose me. He flung his sleeves and walked out. Sun Linfu tried to stop him. You are a minister of Jin. Why leave? Xian Mi said, I accepted the order to escort Prince Yang. He is my ruler. How can I go back on my word? Then he defected to the Qin camp. Seeing this, Zhao Dun decided to strike first. That night, he ordered the soldiers to feed the war horses fully. Each man held a bamboo slip in his mouth so no sound would leak out. They advanced in silence, straight to the Qin camp. At the hour of the third watch, one command rang out. Drums and horns sounded together, and the Jin troops burst through the gate. The Qin soldiers woke in shock. With no time to saddle up or put on armor, they scattered in chaos under the slaughter. Ba Yibing fought desperately and escaped. Prince Yang, however, died in the long battle. Xiao Mi sighed. Feng, Xiao Meng betrayed me, but I cannot betray the ruler of Qin. He withdrew with the Qin army and fled to Qin. Shi Hui also sighed. I shared the same mission as Xiao Mi. If Xiao Mi goes to Qin, I cannot return to Jin alone. He went with them. Duke Xiang of Jin appointed both of them as grand officers. Yong Linfu then said to Zhao Dun, in earlier days, when Jiaji fled, the prime minister escorted his wife and children to join him. Now, Xiang Mi and Shi Hui are also my colleagues. I want to follow that same precedent. Zhao Dun nodded. Yongbo values loyalty and friendship. That is exactly what I want. So he sent guards to escort the two families, along with their property, to Qin. After this battle, every unit gained something, except for a fierce officer under Shan Qi named Kuai Di. Hungry for glory, he chased the Qin troops too far, was struck hard by their counterattack, and lost 5 chariots. Shan Qi wanted to execute him by military law, and the generals all pleaded for him. Xian Qi reported the matter to Zhao Dun. Zhao Dun did not kill Kuai Di, but his single decision drove him into disgrace. He confiscated his fields and cut off his stipend. From that day on, Kuai Di hated Xian Qi to the bone and hated Zhao Dun as well. At the same time, Ji Zhengfu, who had been left to guard the capital, was already unhappy with Zhao Dun's way of doing things, how he could enthrone someone or remove someone as he pleased. Shi Gu and Liang Yi had lost their military power and were even angrier. The three met in secret and made a plan. If the front line turns into a stalemate, we will act in the capital. We will remove Zhao Dun, depose Yi Gao, and welcome Prince Yang back as ruler. Then real power will belong to us. But Zhao Dun drove back the Qin army and returned in triumph, and that only made them more desperate. By chance, Xiangdu also hated Zhao Dun. Xiangdu had been the deputy of the lower army. His commander, Xiang Mi, had been forced to flee to Qin because of this affair, and Xiangdu kept the whole account on Zhao Dun's head. Then Kuai Di, punished by Zhao Dun, was full of resentment and went to Shigu to complain. Shai Zhu seized the moment and stirred the fire. Zhao Dun's strength is that middle army, and its backbone is Xian Ke. If we can find someone ready to die and remove Xian Ke first, Zhao Dun will lose an arm. But this must be approved by Shandu. Kuai Di immediately went to Shandu. Shandu was already burning with anger. After hearing it, he slammed the decision down. If it can be done, it will be a blessing for Jin. As winter ended and spring approached, Shan Qi went to Ji City to worship at the ancestral shrine of Xian Zhen. Shandu ordered his retainers to lie in ambush outside the city. They followed behind, waited for a chance, and rushed in with a flurry of stabs. Shang Qi's attendants fled in all directions, and Shang Qi was killed on the spot. When Zhao Dun heard that Shang Qi had been killed by bandits, he erupted in rage. He ordered the Minister of Justice to investigate strictly, with reviews every 5 days. Xindu and the others grew tense and urged Shigu and Liang Yi to act quickly. But Liang Yi got drunk and let the whole truth slip to Liang Hong. Liang Hong turned pale and trembled. This is the kind of thing that wipes out 9 clans. He secretly told Yu Pian, and Yu Pian reported it to Zhao Dun. Zhao Dun immediately gathered troops and chariots. Armor and war carts filled the Zhao residence, ready for orders. When Xiangdu heard that the Zhao house had assembled arms and chariots, He suspected the plot was exposed and rushed to press his allies. Zheng still wanted to wait for the Lantern Festival banquet, when the ruler would host all officials and act amid the confusion. But they hesitated and never settled on a move. Zhao Dun struck first. He sent Yu Pian to surround Xiangdu's house and seized Xiangdu into prison. Liang Yi'er and Kuai De panicked and planned to find Zhengfu, gather the retainers of 4 houses, rescue Xiandu, and launch a riot together. Yao Dan instead sent the case to Zhengfu and invited him to court to discuss it. Zhengfu thought, if Zhao Dun summons me, he must not suspect me. He went alone with light gear. Zhao Dun, however, feared that Zhengfu, as commander of the upper army, might stir the troops into rebellion. So Zhao Dun pretended to consult him and kept him in the court office, discussing Xiandu's matter. In secret, he sent Zunlin Fu, Xi Kui, and Luan Dun, each with a force, to arrest Shigu Liang Yi'er and Kuai Di in 3 separate directions. When all 3 were captured, Zunlin Fu and the others returned and reported. Zunlin Fu then shouted, Zhengfu is also among the rebels. Why is he not yet bound? Zhengfu argued urgently. I was charged with guarding the capital. Back then, all 3 armies were outside, and I did not rebel. How could I rebel today when the officials are all gathered? That would be seeking death. Zhao Dun answered coldly. You delayed until today because you were waiting for Xiandu and Kuai De. I already have the facts. Stop arguing. Only then did Zhengfu lower his head and accept the bonds. Zhao then reported everything to Duke Xiang of Jin and intended to impose extreme punishment on Xiandu and the others. Duke Ling was young and only knew how to agree. After Duke Ling returned to the palace, Lady Shang heard that all 5 were imprisoned and asked what Yao Dun planned to do. Duke Ling replied, the Prime Minister said, by their crimes, all should be executed. Lady Xiang said, they were fighting for power. They were not plotting to overthrow the ruler. The mastermind behind Xian Qi's assassination was only 1 or 2 men. There are principals and accomplices. How can you kill them all alike? In recent years, old ministers have died or fled. Talent is already scarce. If you kill 5 more great officers at once, the court will be left with empty posts. How can that not be worrying? The next day, Duke Ling repeated Lady Xiang's words to Zhao Dun. Zhao Dun replied in memorial, the ruler is young and the state is unstable. If ministers dare to kill and form factions and you do not punish them severely, how will you restrain future traitors? So he executed Xiandu, Shigu, Jiangfu, Liang Yi'er, and Kuai Di in the marketplace under the charge of disrespecting the ruler. At the same time, he appointed Xiang Kei's son Xiang Hu as a grand officer. The people of the state feared Zhao Dun's severity, and none did not shiver. Far away in Lu, Hu Shigu heard this and gasped, Good fortune! I escaped early and spared my life. One day, Feng Shu of Lu asked him, between Zhao Dun and Zhao Cui, who is better? Hu Shigu answered with an image. Zhao Cui is like the sun in winter, it warms people. Zhao Dun is like the sun in summer, it burns so fiercely that people fear it. Feng Shu laughed. You are a veteran known for courage, yet you fear Zhao Meng. Hu Shigu said nothing more. While Jin was still soaked in internal blood, King Mu of Chu already had his eye on the Central Plains. He received a report saying, Jin has just enthroned a new ruler. Zhao Dun holds state power alone. The great officers fight over power and kill each other. So he summoned his ministers to discuss and prepared to send troops against Zheng. The minister Fan Shan offered a plan. The ruler of Jin is young. His ministers focus on power struggles and do not attend to the lords. Take this chance and seize the northern states. Who can stop us? King Mu was overjoyed. He appointed Dou Yu Jiao as commander, with Jia as deputy, and sent 300 chariots to campaign against Zheng. He personally led 2,000 elite troops and camped at Lang Yuan as support. He also sent Prince Zhu as commander, with Prince Fa as deputy, leading 300 chariots to attack Chen. When Duke Mu of Zheng heard that Chu troops were pressing the border, he urgently sent the officers, Prince Zhen, Prince Pang, and Li Er to defend at the frontier. He warned them again and again not to attack, only to hold fast and not fight recklessly. He also sent men to Jian to ask for help. For several days, Dou Yujiao challenged in front of the lines, yet Zheng troops never moved. Jia privately said to Dou Yujiao, "Since the Battle of Changpu, Chu troops have not come to Jiang for a long time. Zheng is waiting for Jin's army. Before Jin arrives, lure Zheng out and destroy them, to wash away old shame. Otherwise, if we drag on, the lords will gather here, and we may walk Ziyu's old road again." "What then?" Dou Yujiao asked. "How do we lure them?" Jia leaned close and whispered the method. Dou Yujiao adopted the plan and announced within the army, "Supplies are about to run short. You may raid the nearby villages for grain." He then began drinking and enjoying music in his tent, with drums and entertainment, and it only broke up at midnight each day. News reached Lang Yuan. King Mu suspected Dou Yujiao was neglecting duty and prepared to go in person to supervise. Fan Shan said, "Bo Ying is a clever man. There must be a plan inside this. In a few days, the victory report should arrive." On the Zheng side, Prince John and the other two saw Chu stop calling for battle and felt it was strange, so they sent scouts. The scouts returned and reported, "Chu soldiers are raiding grain everywhere. Commander Dou plays drums and drinks daily. When drunk, he curses and says Zheng men are useless and cannot endure fighting." Prince Jian was delighted. If their soldiers are out grabbing grain, their camp must be empty. If their commander drinks and plays music, their will to fight must be slack. "If we strike their camp at night, we can win a great victory," Prince Pang and Li Er agreed. That night, after eating, Prince Pang was about to divide the force into front, middle, and rear sections to advance in order for safety. Prince Jian said, "A camp raid is not like a field battle, it is a sudden strike. We should split left and right, not line up front and rear." So the three commanders drove side by side and advanced together. As they neared the Chu camp, they saw bright lights in the distance and heard loud music. Prince Jian said, "Bo Fen is doomed." He drove forward to charge. The Chu troops did not resist at all. Prince Jian rushed into the camp first. Musicians fled in all directions. Only Dou Yujiao sat still. Prince Jian moved closer and was shocked. It was a bound straw dummy pretending to be the commander. Prince Jian shouted, "We have been tricked." He hurried to withdraw. Suddenly, a cannon-like signal thundered behind the camp, and a Chu general led troops to kill forward, shouting, "Dou Yujiao is here." Prince Jian dared not stop. He joined Prince Pang and Liar and fled along one road. They had not gone a mile when another signal sounded ahead. It was Wei Jia, leading a force already lying in ambush, blocking the road. With Wei Jia in front and Dou Yujiao behind, the Zheng troops were crushed in a pincer. Prince Pang and Li Er were captured together. Prince Jian rushed back to rescue them, but his horse was tripped, the chariot overturned, and he too was seized. Duke Mu of Zheng received the news and panicked. "All three commanders are taken. Jin's rescue army is not here. What do we do?" The ministers said, "Chu's army is strong. If we do not submit and seek peace, our city will fall sooner or later. Even if Jin arrives, it will not help." So Duke Mu sent Prince Feng with heavy gifts to the Chu camp to admit guilt. He swore he would not rebel again, asked to form an alliance, and Dou Yujiao accepted. Dou Yujiao requested instructions from King Mu of Chu. King Mu accepted Zheng's submission. The Chu army released Prince Jian, Prince Pang, and Li Er and let them return to Zheng. King Mu then ordered a full withdrawal. Halfway home, Prince Zhu arrived along the route from Lang Yuan with troops that Chang had defeated. His deputy, Prince Fa, had been captured. Prince Zhu asked to send troops to take revenge. King Mo flew into a rage and was about to march on Chen at once. Just then, news came that Chen had sent an envoy to return Prince Fa and had submitted in writing. King Mo opened the letter. It said in essence that Chen's land was remote and small, with no chance to serve at the Great Court, that its border people were ignorant and had offended the prince, that the ruler was anxious and sleepless, and that he now sent modest gifts by chariot and horse, willing to attach himself to Chu long-term in exchange for protection, hoping the king would accept them. King, Mu laughed. The ruler of Chen fears I will punish him, so he submits first. That is a man with foresight. He allowed Chen to submit. He also sent messages inviting the rulers of Zheng and Chen, along with the marquis of Kai, to meet him on the first day of the 10th month at Zhuhi. On the Jin side, Prime Minister Zhou Dun had received Zheng's plea and sent envoys to coordinate troops from Song, Lu, Wei, and Su to rescue Zheng. Before they reached Zheng territory, they heard Zheng had already submitted to Chu and Chu's army had already withdrawn. Soon, they also heard Chen had submitted to Chu. The Song officer Huao and the Lu officer Prince Sui asked to attack Chen and Zheng. Zhou Dun said, "In truth, we arrived too late, and that is why we lost those two states. What blame do they carry? Better to return and put our own state affairs in order." Marquis Shuo of Chen and Duke Luan of Jin feared missing King Mu of Chu's appointed date, so they simply arrived early at Xi and waited. The moment they met him, they lowered their posture and spoke plainly. "We feared we might be late and offend your majesty, so we came ahead to welcome you, and we hope to travel with you." King Mu felt pleased hearing this. He was about to mount his chariot when another report came. Marquis Zhao Wu of Kai had already arrived at Zhuhe, and on the spot he performed the full ritual of a subordinate, kneeling and bowing again and again. The rulers of Chen and Zheng saw it and panicked. They whispered to each other, "If Kai is this low, we will look arrogant." They hurried to present their pledge to King Mu. "The ruler of Song has not come to pay respects. Your Majesty can use this as a reason to punish Song." King Mu smiled and accepted the line. "That is exactly why I am assembling here. I already have Song in mind." Over in Song, the state was in chaos. Duke Xiang of Song had died. Duke Zhou had been on the throne for 3 years. He trusted petty men, pushed away the noble clans, and the infighting never stopped. Only Hua Yuxi barely kept things stable. Hearing that the king of Chu would hold a covenant meeting at Zhehian was watching Song, Hua Yuxi pressed his advice hard. A small state that refuses to serve a great state is walking the road to ruin. If you wait until Chu troops come and only then beg to submit, it will be too late. Better that you go to welcome him first. The ruler of Song accepted it. He personally rushed to Zhuhe, and he also prepared a grand hunt at Menju to entertain the king of Chu. King Mu of Chu was delighted. He arranged the marching order on the spot. The ruler of Chen would lead the front as the pathfinder. The ruler of Song would take the right. The ruler of Zheng would take the left. The ruler of Kai would cover the rear. All would follow the king of Chu on the hunt. King Mu also issued a strict order. At daybreak, they would set out, and every chariot must carry fire-making tools. Midway through the hunt, King Mu chased foxes and rode into the right wing. The foxes dove into a deep burrow. He turned back and shouted for the ruler of Song to light a fire and smoke them out. But the chariot of Song, of all things, had no fire tools. Shen Wu Wei, the Sima of Chu, exploded on the spot. "We cannot punish the ruler of Song, so we punish his servant instead." He ordered the driver whipped 300 times. The ruler of Song was so ashamed he could not lift his head. In that moment, in full view of all the lords, Chu's authority stood up like a banner. Now the scene turns to the 4th year of King Qing of Zhou. Duke Xiang of Jin had swallowed his resentment for 5 years, and at last he slammed the table. "I have endured the disgrace at Linghu long enough. Zhao Dan kills great officers and does not govern. Chen, Kai, Song, and Zhen all lean toward Chu. Jin cannot stop it, which shows how weak Jin has become. If we do not strike Jin now, when will we ever?" All the ministers answered together, "We will give our full strength." Duke Kang ordered Meng Ming to stay behind and guard the state. He appointed Shi Shu as commander, Bai Yibing as deputy, and Shi Hui as strategist. With 500 chariots, they crossed the river eastward and first seized Jima. In Jin, Zhao Dun immediately reorganized the armies. He personally commanded the Middle Army. He transferred Zun Lin Fu to fill the vacant post of Middle Army Assistant Commander. In the Upper Army, he had Shi Kui replace Ji Zhengfu. In the Lower Army, Luan Dun took command, with Su Jia as Lower Army Assistant Commander. Zhao Chuan begged twice to enter the Upper Army's corps. Zhao Dun pressed him down directly. "You are young and eager to fight. Wait for another day." Zhao Chuan refused to accept it and changed his request. "Then I will follow the army as a private man." Zhao Dun allowed it. For the post of Sima, Xiao Dun recommended his own retainer, Han Ju. The main force had not marched far beyond Jiang when a chariot suddenly charged into the middle army formation. Han Ju asked what it meant. The driver answered, "The Prime Minister forgot his eating set. I was ordered to fetch it and rush it over." Han Ju turned cold at once. "The formation is already fixed. How dare you drive a chariot and crash through it by military law? You should be executed." The driver wept and shouted, "This is the Prime Minister's order." Han Ju answered even harder. Han Ju was appointed as Sima. I recognize only military law, not the Prime Minister. He had the man executed on the spot and smashed the chariot. The commanders turned and tried to stir Xiao Dun up. "You promoted him, and he destroyed your chariot. This man is ungrateful and cannot be trusted." Everyone waited for Xiao Dun to erupt. Instead, Xiao Dun stepped down from his seat and saluted. He praised Han Ju clearly. "You can enforce the law like this. That is how you repay the trust behind my recommendation. Work hard," he then added. "In the future, the one who will hold Jin's politics will most likely be Han Ju. The Han clan is about to rise." With that one sentence, he was holding up law as the lifeline of Jin. Xiao Dun camped at Hiku and adopted Yu Pian's plan. Dig deep ditches, raise high walls, hold fast and do not fight. Drain Qin's edge and strike only when they withdraw. Duke Xiang of Jin saw Jin would not come out and asked Shihui for a method. Shihui grabbed Jin's internal fault lines. This refusal to fight is Yu Pian's strategy. Zhao Chuan is brave and also the ruler's son-in-law. He wants to seize merit, and he will surely resent Yu Pian. If you send the light troops to provoke Jin's upper army, Shi Kui and Yu Pian will likely stay put, but Zhao Chuan will definitely chase. That will force an opening. Qin indeed sent Bai Yibing with 100 chariots to provoke. Shi Kui and Yu Pian held their ground. Zhao Chuan rushed out to pursue as expected. Bai Yibing turned and fled at speed. Zhao Chuan chased more than 10 li and could not catch him. He returned and cursed the upper army. "We carry rations and wear armor to fight. The enemy comes and you do not move. Are you all women?" A military officer answered, "The commander has a plan to break the enemy, but not today." Zhao Chuan grew even angrier. He shouted at the camp gate, "Others fear Qin, but I, Zhao Chuan, do not. I will storm Qin's camp alone and wash away the shame. Anyone with spirit, follow me." Not a single soldier responded. Only Sujia sighed. "He is a true hero. I should help him." He was about to move. Shiko hurried to report to Xiao Dun. Xiao Dun turned pale. "If that reckless man goes alone, he will be captured. We must rescue him." He ordered the 3 armies to charge out together, and the 2 sides fought. Zhao Chuan broke into the Qin camp and fought Bai Yibing for more than 30 bouts. The struggle was still tight when Shiki Shu tried to close in from the side. Seeing Jin's main force arrive in full, Qin did not dare to mix into a chaotic fight and sounded the signal to withdraw. Back in camp, Zhao Chuan still refused to accept it and questioned Xiao Dun. "I was about to break the Qin camp and avenge the shame for everyone. Why did you withdraw?" Xiao Dun answered with only one line. "Qin is a great state. We cannot treat them lightly. We must win with strategy." Qin then sent a challenge letter. "Neither side has suffered major losses. Let us decide victory tomorrow." Xiao Dun agreed in words, but Yu Pian saw something else. The envoy claims they want battle, but his eyes kept dotting around. He looked uneasy. "They fear us. Tonight they will surely retreat. Set an ambush at the river crossing. Strike them as they try to cross, and we will win big." Xiao Dun was about to arrange it when Sujia learned the plan and leaked it to Zhao Chuan. Zhao Chuan and Sujia then shouted in front of everyone, "We already agreed to a decisive fight, yet now we plan an ambush and a sneak attack at the river mouth. That is not how a true man behaves." Qin scouts heard this and reported it. The Qin army changed routes in the night. They did not take the river mouth at all. They cut into Shayi and returned through Taolin Pass. Xiao Dun had no choice but to withdraw as well. After returning, Xiao Dun wanted to punish the crime of leaking military plans. But Zhao Chuan was both the former ruler's son-in-law and Xiao Dun's own cousin, so he could not be touched. All blame was forced onto Sujia. His rank was removed and he was exiled to Wei. Zhao Dun also added, Zhu Ji has merit and must not be killed, and he still appointed Su Jie's son, Su Qi, as lower army assistant commander. After that, UPN reminded Zhao Dun again. The word advising Qin at He Kui was Shi Hui. As long as he is in Qin, we cannot sleep easy. Zhao Dun summoned the 6 ministers to meet at the guest lodge at Zhufu. They were Zhao Dun, Shi Kui, Len Wendun, Sun Lenfu, Yu Pian, and Shu Qi. Zhao Dun opened directly. Hu Shi Gu is among the Di, and Shi Hui is in Qin. Both want to harm Jin. How should we deal with them first? Sun Lenfu argued for recalling Hu Shigu and restoring his post. Shi Hui opposed it. He stressed that Hu Shigu had the old crime of killing a great officer without authorization and could not be restored. Instead, they should first recall Shihui. Dai is far, but Qin presses our border. To remove Qin's threat, we must first pull away the hand that helps Qin. Recalling Shihui is exactly that. But Qin's ruler favored Shihui. How could they make him return? Yu Pian said he has someone who could handle it. Wei Shouyu, a hereditary noble of Wei who was idle without office and best at reading faces. He leaned close and whispered the method into Zhao Dan's ear. Zhao Dan was overjoyed and told him to go do it. Zhao Dan first set a trap through state policy. He memorialized Duke Ling to order the River East districts to train troops and rotate guard duty along the Yellow River. Wei Yi was a major district and had to lead by example. So, under the ruler's order, Wei Shouyu was summoned to court and told to supervise the river defense. Wei Shouyu resisted on the spot. I do not understand war. The river runs for more than 100 li and crossings are everywhere. Soldiers would be exposed outside. Guarding like this brings no benefit, Zhao Dun scolded him before the court. How dare a minor minister block my great plan? Within 3 days, bring the army roster to report. If you disobey again, you will be dealt with by military law. Wei Shouyi sighed and left the court in gloom. The moment he got home, he said to his wife, Zhao Dun is lawless. He wants me to guard the river mouth, and when will it ever end? Pack the family property at once. We are going to Qin to seek Shehu. That night, he deliberately drank hard and made trouble. Using the food is unclean as an excuse, he whipped the cook and kept cursing that he would kill him. The cook fled to the Zhou residence and reported that Wei Shouyu planned to defect to Qin. Zhao Dun sent Han Ju to arrest him. Han Ju let Wei Shouyu escape and only seized his wife, throwing her into prison. Wei Shouyu fled through the night to Qin. He met Duke Xiang of Jin and complained bitterly about Zhao Dan's tyranny. My wife has been locked in prison. I escaped alone. I have come to surrender. Duke Xiang asked Shi Hui, Can this be trusted? Shi Hui answered carefully, People of Jin are slippery. They cannot be trusted. If Wei Shouyu truly comes to surrender, what gift can he offer as proof? Wei Shouyu pulled out a document from his sleeve. It listed the land and population of Wei Yi. He presented it and said, If my lord will truly accept me, I am willing to offer my fief. Duke Xiang then asked Shi Hui again, Can Wei Yi be taken? Wei Shouyu looked at Shi Hui and even stepped on his foot lightly, urging him with a silent signal. Shi Hui, though in exile in Qin, still missed Jin in his heart. He understood the meaning, but he answered in a way that pushed Qin forward. Qin once abandoned the 5 cities east of the river for marriage ties. Now the 2 states trade blows year after year. Taking cities depends on strength. Among the River East cities, none is larger than Wei Yi. If we seize Wei Yi, we can slowly reclaim the River East lands. I only fear the officials of Wei Yi will fear Jin's punishment and refuse to submit. Wei Shouyu answered at once. Wei's officials bear Jin's name, but in truth they obey the Wei clan. If my lord stations troops on the west bank as distant support, I can handle the rest. Duke Kang looked at Shi Hu. You know Jin's situation. You must come with me. He appointed Shi Skishu as commander and Shi Hui as deputy, and personally led the army forward. They camped at the river mouth. A scout then reported, There is a Jin force stationed on the east bank. We do not know their intent. Wei Shouyu said, That must be Wei Yi's men taking precautions after hearing Qin troops are coming. They do not know I have surrendered. If we send someone who knows Jin affairs well and go with me to explain the pros and cons, Wei's officials will not dare refuse.
Duke Xiang ordered Xu Hui to go. Xu Hui kowtowed and asked leave, pretending deep worry. The people of Jin are like wolves and tigers, violent and ruthless. If I persuade them and it succeeds, it is our state's blessing. But if Wei's officials refuse and seize me, then if my lord fails to gain results because of me and punishes my wife and children, it brings no benefit to my lord, while my family suffers disaster for nothing. In the underworld, would I ever be able to regret it in time? Duke Kang did not realize Shi Hui was deceiving him. He said, "Go without worry. If we gain Wei Yi, I will reward you heavily. If you are detained by Jin, I will send back your family to show the friendship between us." Duke Kang and Shi Hui pointed to the Yellow River and swore an oath. The Qin officer Rao Chao tried to stop Duke Kang. Shi Hui is Jin's strategist. If he goes, it is like a big fish leaping into the deep abyss. He will never return. Why trust Wei Shouyu's words and send your strategist to aid the enemy? Duke Kang said, "I can control this. Do not doubt it." Shi Hui left with Wei Shouyu. Rao Chao hurried in his chariot to see him off and handed him a leather whip. "Do not think Qin has no wise men. It is only that our lord will not listen to me. Take this whip and drive your horse back quickly. If you are late, you will be in trouble." Not long after, Shi Hui and Shouyu crossed the Yellow River. They ran straight into a troop coming to meet them. On the chariot, a young general leaned forward and asked, "Since you and Suiji parted ways, have you run into any trouble?" Shi Hui drew closer and saw it clearly. It was Zhao Shuo, the son of Zhao Dun. The three got down and greeted each other. Shi Hui asked why he had come. Zhao Shuo laid the whole hand down in one sentence. "By my father's order, I am here to escort you back to court. The main army is already behind me." The words had barely landed when a signal cannon sounded. Chariots and horses filled the road, and Shi Hui and Shouyu were surrounded and carried straight back into Jin. Duke Xiang of Jin looked across the river, furious enough to want to cross and fight. But then the forward scouts reported again. Another Jin army has arrived in the east of the river. Zun Linfu and Shi Kui are both there. Shi Qishu could only urge withdrawal. Since Jin has strong support, they will not allow us to cross. Better to pull back. So Qin withdrew home. Jin also pulled its troops back to Jiang. Shi Hui had lived in exile in Qin for 3 years. Now he re-entered Jiang in one breath. When he stepped into the hall, he bared his chest and asked to be punished. Duke Ling of Jin pressed the whole court down with a single line, "You have no guilt." On the spot, he placed Shi Hui among the 6 ministers. Zhao Dun also reported Wei Shouyu's merit and rewarded him with 10 chariots. Duke Kang of Qin kept his word and sent Shi Hui's family back to Jin with a message. "I will not betray the oath we swore by the Yellow River." Shi Hui was moved by that sense of honor. He wrote back to thank him, and he urged him to lay down weapons, let the people recover, and guard each border in peace. Duke Kang accepted the advice. From then on, Qin and Jin did not wage major war for decades. Later, the Son of Heaven changed to King Kuang, and Chu also changed to King Zhuang. Zhao Dun took advantage of Chu's fresh mourning and tried to rebuild Jin's leading position. He hosted the lords in grand style at Xincheng. Song, Lu, Chen, Wei, Zheng, and Su all came. The rulers of Song, Chen, and Zheng softened their tone first. "Before, we followed Chu because we had no choice." Zhao Dun reassured them one by one, and the lords turned back to rely on Jin again. Only the ruler of Kai refused to come. Zhao Dun sent Shi Kui to besiege him. Kai could not hold and surrendered, and only then did the Jin army withdraw. Qi, meanwhile, fell into deeper chaos. Duke Xiao of Qi meant to attend the covenant meeting but died of illness. The crown prince Shi took the throne. Prince Xiangren had long carried thoughts of usurping. Seeing the moment arrive, and with a comet divination saying, "The rulers of Song, Qi, and Jin will all die because of great turmoil," Xiangren sneered, "Who else will throw Qi into chaos but me?" He ordered desperados to hide behind the funeral curtain and stabbed Crown Prince Shi to death on the spot. Then he put on a show of, "For the state, for my elder brother," and said to Prince Yuan, "She lacks the dignity of a ruler. I did this for your sake." Prince Yuan saw through him. "You have wanted the throne for a long time. Do not drag me in. I only ask that after you become ruler, you let me live quietly as a common man of Qi.
Zheng Ren then made himself ruler. He became Duke Yi of Qi. Prince Yuan simply pretended illness, shut his gates, and never entered court again. Xiao Ji, Xi's mother, cried until she nearly collapsed. Duke Yi found her an eyesore. He moved her to another prison cell and cut her rations. Xiao Ji secretly sent word to Lu to ask for help. Duke Wen of Lu feared Qi's strength, so he had someone ask the Zhou king to intervene. King Kuang of Zhou sent Dan Bo to Qi to urge Duke Yi. Now that her son is dead, what use is the mother? Send her back to Lu and show Qi's generosity. When Duke Yi heard the words, killed her son, his face flushed red.
He gave no clear answer, but he set a trap in secret. He first pretended goodwill, saying, "Go into the palace and see the state mother." The moment Danbo entered, Duke Yi suddenly rushed in and shouted, "Danbo dared to enter the palace forbidden grounds and privately meet the state mother. This is disrespectful." He seized Danbo on the spot and imprisoned him as well, keeping him and Zhao Ji in separate rooms. Then he resented Lu even more for using the Son of Heaven's order to press him. He went further and sent troops to attack Lu. Lu panicked. Jisun Xingfu hurried to Jin to ask for. He honored the elderly and respected the worthy. He brought in anyone with skill. For clan weddings, funerals, sickness, and death, he paid without holding back. The next year, famine struck again. Bao's grain was already gone, and Wang Ji even took treasures from the palace to help him give alms. The whole state praised Bao's benevolence, and people said openly that they wanted him on the throne. Once public support had settled, Bao and Wang Ji planned to act. Wang Ji spoke clearly. "I hear Duke Xiao will go hunting at Mangzhu. When he mounts and leaves, I will have Prince Su shut the palace gates. You lead the people to rise." Yi Zhu learned of the plot and rushed to warn Duke Xiao. "My lord must not go hunting. If you go out, you may never return." Duke Xiao sighed. "If they truly want rebellion, can I be sure to live even if I hide inside the city?" He did the opposite. He loaded all the treasury wealth onto chariots, took his close attendants, and headed toward Mangzhu. As soon as he passed the city gate, Wang Ji detained the men left to guard the capital, Hua Yuan and Gongsun Yu, and ordered Prince Su to shut the palace gates. Prince Bao had Hua Yu announce within the troops, "By the command of Lady Xiang, today we raise Prince Bao as ruler and destroy the lawless, foolish lord." The soldiers shouted that they would obey, and the common people also poured out of the city to join the chase. On the road, Duke Xiao heard the capital had changed. Yi Zhu urged him to flee to another state. Duke Xiao shook his head. "From my grandmother down to the common people, all are my enemies. Which lord among the Zhuhou would take me in? Better to die in my homeland than die in another land." He ordered the chariots to stop and eat. He let those who had followed him to hunt fill their stomachs. Then he divided the treasures among his attendants. "The blame is mine alone. What does it have to do with you? You have followed me for many years, and I have nothing to give you but these jewels. Take them and flee for your lives. Do not die with me." The attendants cried and begged to fight to the death. Duke Xiao still said, "Dying for nothing brings no gain. I will die here. Do not cling to me." Soon, Hua Yu's forces caught up and surrounded Duke Xiao. They shouted, "We only kill the lawless ruler. This has nothing to do with the rest of you." Many attendants had already scattered. Only Yi Zhu stood by Duke Xiao with his sword. Hua Yu shouted again, naming Yi Zhu alone and ordering him to come back. Yi Zhu let out a long sigh. A minister who abandons his ruler in danger may as well be dead even if he lives. Hua Yu thrust his halberd toward Duke Xiao. Yi Zhu stepped in to block and swung his sword to fight Hua Yu, but the soldiers and crowd surged together. They killed Yi Zhu first, then killed Duke Xiao of Song. Any attendants who had not escaped were slaughtered as well. Hua Yu led his troops back into the capital and reported everything to Lady Xiang. In court, Hua Yuan and Gongsun Yu seized the moment and submitted a memorial. "Prince Bao is kind and has won the people's hearts. He should be made ruler." So Prince Bao took the throne and was called Duke Wen of Song. But something strange happened. The moment Hua Yu returned home, he was struck by a sudden heart pain illness and died on the spot. Duke Wen remembered how Dang Yi Zhu had died protecting his lord, and he moved quickly to fill the vacancies. He appointed now to Qi. Duke Yi of Qi, Zheng Ren, was even more ruthless. Years earlier, he had argued with the minister Bing Yuan over a boundary of farmland.
Guanzhong judged him in the wrong and gave the land to the Bing clan. Sheng Ren had held that grudge for years. After he killed Shi and seized the throne, he first grabbed the Bing clan's fields, then cut away half of the Guan clan's fief. The Guan clan was forced to flee to Chu as an entire family. Even more vicious, when he went hunting and passed Bing Yuan's tomb, he ordered the grave dug up, dragged the corpse out, and chopped off both feet. Then he asked Bing Yuan's son, Bing Chu, right to his face, "Did your father deserve to have his feet cut off? Do you dare to hate me?" Bing Chu forced out a reply. "That my father was not killed while alive is already beyond what I could hope for. As for a rotten skeleton, how would I dare hold hatred?" Duke Yi was delighted. He returned all the fields he had seized and even allowed Bing Chu to rebury his father. But Duke Yi soon sank deeper into indulgence. After gathering beauties still felt like too little, he heard someone praise the beauty of Yanzi's wife. He issued an order for New Year's Day. All ministers' wives must enter the palace to pay respects. He detained Yanzi's wife on the spot and refused to let her go. Then he tossed Yanzi a careless line. "The palace enjoys her company. You can take another wife." Yanzi dared to be angry but did not dare speak. In the 5th month, Duke Yi went to Shenqi to escape the heat. He even named Bing Chu to drive his chariot and made Yanzi ride at the right side. Hua Yuan privately warned him, "You cut off Bing Chu's father's feet and you took Yanzi's wife. How can you keep them close to you?" Duke Yi shut him down with one sentence. "They do not resent me. Do not be suspicious." That day at Shenqi, Duke Yi drank himself into a stupor. The heat made him miserable, so he had an embroidered bed carried into the bamboo grove and fell asleep. Bing Chu and Yan Zhi bathed in the water. Bing Chu wanted revenge but lacked a partner, so he snapped off a bamboo pole and struck Yan Zhi on the head. Yan Zhi flared up. "Why are you bullying me?" Bing Chu stabbed back. "He stole your wife and you did not get angry. I tap you once and you explode." Yan Zhi fired right back. "You watched your father's corpse get its feet cut off and you could endure it. I lose my wife and I cannot endure it." Only then did Bing Chu speak plainly. "The killer is asleep in the bamboo grove. The only ones here are you and me. Heaven has handed us our chance. We cannot let it slip." Yan Zhi answered at once, "If you dare do it, I will help." They dried off, dressed, and went into the grove. Attendants stood nearby. Bing Chu first arranged it with Yan Zhi. "When the Lord wakes from wine, he will want soup. You prepare it and wait." Sure enough, Duke Yi woke and demanded soup. The attendant went off to fetch it, and in that instant, Yan Zhi rushed in and pinned Duke Yi's hands. Bing Chu clamped his throat and struck with his sword. Sheng Ren's head rolled to the ground. They hid the body deep in the bamboo, and they threw the head into the water. When the attendant returned with the soup, Bing Chu fixed the story in place. Sheng Ren killed the former ruler and seized the throne. The former lord ordered me to execute him. Prince Yuan is worthy and filial. He should be made ruler. The attendants did not dare utter a word. Bing Chu and Yan Zhi drove back to the city and drank in celebration. The high ministers Gao Qing and Guo Gifu did not pursue them. Guo Gifu spoke a single line that cut to the bone. "We did not punish the one who killed his ruler. If others punished him, what crime is that?" So they welcomed Prince Yuan and raised him as ruler. He became Duke of Qin. Bing Chu and Yan Zhi loaded their wealth and their wives onto carts and left by the south gate, moving slowly toward Chu. They were not even anxious. Sheng Ren had no virtue. "The people are celebrating his death. What is there to fear?" Then the story turns to Lu. Duke Wen of Lu, Xing, had ruled many years and had set his legitimate son, Yi, as crown prince. But his favored concubine, Jingying, wanted to raise her own son, Wo. In Lu, the three Hun families held power, and Dongmen Sui, also called Zhong Sui, together with Shusun Dechen, controlled the court. Jingying used heavy gifts to draw Zhong Sui in, and she even put the words down to the bone. "If Wo becomes ruler in the future, you and I will rule Lu together." Zhong Sui was moved. He also knew that Peng Sheng, Yi's tutor, would not join such a plot. So Zhong Sui split off Jingying's gifts and fed them to the greedy Dechen. He also taught Prince Wo to visit Dechen often, respectfully asking for guidance, and step by step pulled Dechen onto his side. When Duke Wen of Lu died and Crown Prince Yi took the throne, the lords sent envoys to mourn. Qi's Duke Hui also sent men to attend the funeral. Zhang Sui spoke to Chen on the spot. Qi and Lu have been friends for generations, but the bond broke long ago. Now Qi is the first to come and repair it, and we must answer that goodwill. More important, we can use Qi as support and raise Prince Wo. That is a path. Chen replied without hesitation, I will go with you. Can Duke Wen of Song truly sit firmly on his throne? Will Duke Hui of Qi avoid the same road Shang Ren took? And in the standoff between Jin and Chu, who will be the one still standing at the end? Next time, we continue.
The sky in light, Nua healed the broken heart. Fuxi traced the world's design. Every age leaves stories bright. Yaya dynasty shaped bronze. Shang dynasty cast oracle bones. Thou dynasty built right. Qin dynasty forged the great walls. Han dynasty opened Silk Road winds. Three Kingdoms dynasty turned war to tales. Zheng dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Tang dynasty crowned the world with art. Song dynasty raised learning's flame. Yuan dynasty swept the northern plains. Ming dynasty strengthened walls again. Qing dynasty closed an ancient end. Every age leaves stories bright. History and myth ignite in endless light. China's history moves in mystery through the night. Footsteps of this land enchant the world in light. Han dynasty opened Silk Road winds. Three Kingdoms dynasty turned war to tales. Qin dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Tang dynasty crowned the world with art. Song dynasty raised learning.